Less than 24 hours to go. The wait is nearly over.
It's now the final countdown, the moment when planning becomes reality.
Kate will leave her hotel at 10:51. That's when we'll first see the dress.
Oh, yes, and guess what? Prince William will have to wait a nail-biting 45 minutes before his princess bride shows up. 45 minutes! Can you imagine what that's going to be like for Prince William at the altar?
Well, we can imagine it because we'll see it on our television sets. If we're up at 3 a.m. here in Los Angeles, there are some die-hard royal fanatics who will be keeping an all-night vigil to watch the big event, the marriage between Prince William and Kate Middleton. J. Anthony McAllister is one of them. He's president of the Los Angeles chapter of the International Monarchist League, and he joins me now. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I detect that you do not have a British accent.
I do not, though I have been accused of having a Canadian accent, thanks to my father.
Okay, so tell us, I didn't even know there was an International Monarchist League. What is it?
There is indeed. Well, roughly, it's a group of people who believe that monarchy is the best, most balanced, most reasonable form of government. It was founded in 1943 in London. And since then, it's branched out to places such as Canada, the United States. And here as it exists in the U.S., it's mainly a means to educate and advocate on behalf of monarchy.
Is there a monarchy that you favor? Are you more a British monarchist or are you an egalitarian monarchist?
I support fundamentally and primarily the institution of monarchy, but personally, I happen to have an affinity for the British Crown, mainly given my own personal history. You know, I'm black, but on my father's side, we are Canadian.
Oh, I'm surprised. I didn't know that you were black, and it surprises me. I don't know. It's surprising. How many black monarchists are there?
I have no idea. It's an interesting question. And it's something that does, I think, surprise a lot of people who maybe hear me before they see me. And again, it's something that, while it makes me sort of smile, it's something that causes a lot of people to scratch their heads and go, why especially would a black guy in his 20s from Los Angeles give a darn about monarchy? And the simple fact is, the simple reason for that is again, pointing to personal history, pointing to the history of this country in particular, but especially of blacks in this hemisphere, and the very sort of important role that the British Crown has played in our history here, for better or worse. And I think that's something that really shouldn't be overlooked.
Despite the fact, I hate to push the point, but the Brits were spearheading the slave trade.
I think that's something for more qualified historians to debate the finer points of. They certainly were very active in the slave trade, but we mustn't forget that they were one of the first, especially in this part of the world, to abolish it. And they did so years before the United States did.
Well, a lot of people think that the British monarchy is close to being irrelevant or even absurd. Why do you think it's important?
Well, I just want to remind those who scoff at the idea of monarchy, especially of the Windsors, that some 2 billion people are estimated to be watching this, planning to watch this wedding live. That is, I think, a third of the planet. So something that's truly irrelevant, I don't think attracts that much attention. And the reason I think so many people are interested in the British monarchy, aside from the sort of fairy tale nature of it, the sort of celebrity status that we've all thrust upon them, is that it is one of the world's most enduring monarchies of those that currently exist. It's one of the most enduring, and it's the one that I think we all know the most about. The monarchy has provided stability. It has provided a great degree of the British national identity. And these are things that are important.
Do you feel, though, that we're missing out here in America? We don't have monarchs?
You know, personally, I think we do. But I think we're missing out more, though, than the absence of a king or queen, is that a lot of Americans tend to be ignorant of our own royal heritage, our own royal history. And I know we tend to get raised eyebrows, at the very least, sometimes quite incredulously raised eyebrows when people discover that there are indeed monarchists in the U.S. The simple fact is it's quite natural and quite an understandable thing to have supporters of monarchy in this country, given this country's history, the fact that various parts of this country were very much influenced and essentially established under royal patronage, especially here in Los Angeles with the Spanish crown.
Well, when you say monarchy, and you're talking about the Spanish monarchy, the history here in California at least, there is a bloody past that goes along with that. Do you also support monarchy of the Aztecs and the Mayans?
No one who supports monarchy or supports any human institution or form of government, I think, will claim that it's a flawless thing. Throughout the history of monarchy in the world, there have been good and bad monarchs, just as there have been good and bad presidents, just as there have been good and bad parents, there have been good and bad husbands, there have been good and bad teachers.
Okay, so tonight you will be staying up late to watch the wedding. Will you be doing anything to celebrate? Anything in particular?
Aside from tossing back a few glasses of champagne with friends, watching it, certainly. I haven't decided exactly where. I know there's some really fun events going on in and around Los Angeles. I think the Cat and Fiddle in Hollywood is planning a sort of all-night viewing party. I might pop down for that. I've got friends at a wonderful tea room in Pasadena called the Roastery Cottage who are planning events all this weekend. So there's certainly a lot going on in Los Angeles for people that are interested in watching or celebrating the royal wedding.
Well, have fun tonight.
I certainly will.
J. Anthony McAllister, he's president of the Los Angeles chapter of the International Monarchist League. Cheers.